Okay. Okay, shall we start? Okay, go to your HLMS. You can see final project revision slides. Please download that. That's what we're going to do. Okay, for the next 2 days. Okay, that's number one. Okay, number two, once you have done your project, you go scroll down. You have to do 2 things. One, project declaration. Okay, AI detection declaration. These 2 you have to declare. Okay, everyone must do it. Your project answer, you have to upload in this particular point here. You click on this, you upload your answer. Got it? Okay, your answer, when you upload, you have 2 things you are doing. One is 13 in, you check your similarity index. If your index is very high, for example, it must not be more than 15%, 15% must be below that. If it's more than 15%, you can redo it, do the changes and resubmit, same point here. Okay, once you have done, you do not want to do any more changes. That means done already. You already do your summation. You already did your turn it in and summation together. There's only one link, no other link. Are you clear? Clear or not? Okay. Answer book. This is the cover page for your project. Okay. The cover page. You write down your name and your student ID. I'll show you one example later on. Okay. Okay, that is what you should be doing. So your deadline to submit your project answer by 18th of January, 9 a.m. Vietnam time. After 18 January, 9 a.m., submission not accepted. You cannot submit. That means you will fail if you have not submitted. But my advice is do the submission, okay, at least 3 or 4 days before the due date, the last day, 18. That means start uploading your answer on the 15th or 16th so that you can do changes. If you want to do changes, you have time to do the changes. Don't wait until the 18th to do your submission. Okay, but the last day to submit is 18th January, 9 a.m. Okay, not PM, AM. Okay. This one okay? Clear? Okay. Why student may fail? Reason for failures. Okay. Number one. So bear in mind, copy and paste from secondary source or ChatGPT. Don't do that. Don't copy paste. You can take the source from the source, you write on your own. Do not put your answer, take your answer and put in the ChatGPT to do grammar correction, all that. If you do that, then the ChatGPT index, the AI index will be very high. Okay, you can use ChatGPT or AI for learning, to understand the question, but not to generate your answer. Okay, very important. Do not generate answer. Do not put your answer into AI to check. You want to check your grammar, you can use Grammarly. Grammarly is also AI. You can use that to check your grammar. That is okay, no problem. But do not take your answer, for example, put into ChatGPT, please do my correction. Then ChatGPT will take ownership of your answer. So when you go into turn it in, say, oh, this is 100%. 100% not good. AI index. AI index you cannot see. For you, you only can see the similarity index. I can see both AI index and similarity index. So make sure, okay, bear in mind, avoid copy paste, avoid getting answer from ChatGPT, because I look at the ChatGPT answer, I know this from ChatGPT because the kind of language they use is quite standard. Okay, that's number one. You must avoid. Number two, student, don't provide citation. You know citation? If you take material from an article, then you must cite. You take material from a report, data from a report, you must cite the report where you take. That's in-text citation. No reference list. You know, reference list, what are the sources you use to do your project? Okay, must, therefore, make sure you must have citation and references. Okay, I will show you example of a project answer later. Unreliable, inappropriate references. That means you're looking at using material which is not credible, not reliable. Use material which are good one. Okay, not answering the question. You see, your project is a very structured project. Structured meaning you just follow the structure. You just follow the structure and create the heading according to the structure and provide your answer. So, if you don't follow the instruction of the project, then you have problem. Very high similarity index, very high AI index. If your similarity index is very high, you must make changes to the answer, because Turnitin will tell you where is the similarity. You do the changes on those parts and resubmit. You can resubmit many times, no problem. But by the 18th of January, after the 18th of January, you cannot submit anymore. Okay. Sharing your answer. Please do not share your answer. Okay, you can discuss with your friend, but do not show them your answer. Then if your friend take your answer, then you have two same answer with index which is very high. Both will fail. Okay. So don't go in this direction. You must move to this direction. Lack reflection, lack support, lack resources, lack effort. Never put enough effort. That means fail. If you want to do well, make sure you use right material, a lot of references. Okay, then you will do very well. So bear in mind, these are some of the things that you must know in order not to fail the the project. Got it? Let me show you one sample answer. Okay, this is a sample project answer. Okay, this is the answer book. Answer book, your name, student ID, subject code, date, your lecturer, tutor, whatever you can write down. This one all don't do anything, leave it. This is called the answer book. It's already given in HLMS. So this student get 87.8%. Every part, these are all given in your project structure. The structure of your project will tell you how you structure your project. Introduction. This is what I call as in-text citation. Okay. this is called in-text citation. Must have in-text citation. Okay. If this person take from certain source, you must put the in-text citation. You can see some of the citation given. You can say in-text citation. You can take material from any source, but make sure you provide the citation saying this is where you got the material. Because it's not yours, right? You're borrowing, you're using. So make sure your answer must have in-text citation. Make sure you must use paragraph, paragraphing like that, paragraph. Got it? Make sure must have paragraph. Headings, subheadings. Okay. So a lot of in-text citation used by this student, okay, taken. And then models. This is called the models. Use the models in your analysis. I'm expecting you can draw a diagram like that, draw and do scan. Make sure you draw it nicely. Every diagram or table, you must provide the title. You understand or not? Okay. Figure 1.1, figure 1.2, like that. Label properly. You can draw on a piece of paper, nice piece of paper, and then you can scan and paste in your answer. So don't copy from the internet diagram. Internet diagram is not for your project answer, correct? Okay, that is very general. This is very specific for your answer. So models, when I said models, these are what they call model used for analysis, to analyze. You can use model to analyze the situation. So expected to use model. Understand? Okay, make sure you must have diagram, relevant diagram used. Draw nicely, neatly, and provide. Neat, don't simply draw. Some students, they don't, the way they draw is very terrible, horrible. So your diagram must be very clear, very neat. Okay. If you want marks, then you must explain your diagram. You understand or not? You see, you must explain your diagram. What is this diagram? Trying to explain. Okay. So that is called models. So models are used to explain. Okay. So remember, all these headings must be there. Use paragraphing. Spacing must be 1.5. Text must be Times New Roman. Understand? Follow the instruction and do your work neatly, properly. Recommendation, conclusion, and then reference list. This is your reference list. Whatever material you have referred to, provide the list. Okay? The more you read, the better answer you can provide. So read as much as possible, provide your reference list. So an index similarity is 0. So this is how the student did very well and score very high marks. So you also can do it, no problem. You understand? What you need to do is, what you need to do? Effort. Must put effort. Effort meaning think properly what material, look for the material, some effort must be put. Do not do last minute work, 18 January must submit, 17 you just starting. How can you do a project? I give you 3 weeks to do the project. 3 weeks means my expectation will be very high. I'm expecting you to read a lot and write. If I give you 24 hours project, that means my expectation a bit lower. I know you have time constraint. 24 hours, not much you can do, correct? Read. So 3 weeks means you are expected to read and provide your reference list quite, extensive list, not 1 or 2 references. 1 or 2 references not very good, not a project. Okay. So these are things that you must bear in mind when you do your project. Once you arrange your project like that, answer book, your answer, reference list, upload to the Turnitin and project summation point. The first report, they give you the turn-in report very fast. Few minutes you get already. See the index very high, you make changes and resubmit. Got it? Okay. Any question? Clear. That is what you should be doing. Okay. Okay. With that, we will start our revision. Okay, your revision is, your project is actually you have to choose one industry, a firm, a particular industry. You know what is industry or not? First thing, you must understand the concept. Industry means what? Example, can you give me any example industry? Textile industry, restaurant industry, everything. In that industry, there are many firms. It's a car industry. There are many firms related to the car industry. You understand or not? It's a car industry is a very big area. It's not only making car, making the parts of the car is also in the car industry. You understand or not? So like that, in your project, you have to choose one particular industry you want to do. I will show you example of one industry later on that I've chosen, then how you will be writing. Okay. So first, let's look at industry first. What is that? Industry here refers to what? What it refers to? Organized production, supply of goods and services within a particular economic sector. Example of industry, you can say automotive industry. Automotive industry, car industry. You can choose healthcare industry. You can choose retail industry. Retail means people selling items, retail, food. Technology industry, telecommunication industry, so many industry, textile, telecommunication, health industry, automotive industry, housing industry, so many industry. Okay, but when you do your project, you choose one industry. So start thinking about what industry you want to do. Okay, your local industry, take local one. You can take restaurant business, no problem. Hair salon industry, hair salon, people doing hair salon business. It's up to you what you want to do, but make sure you can get the material. Whichever industry you choose, make sure you must be able to get the material for you to write. Okay. So when we talk about industry, this includes business and stakeholders. You know what is stakeholders? Businesses, you know what is a business, correct? Stakeholders, anyone who are directly or indirectly connected to the activity of the business. For example, if you take education industry, like your university is in the education industry, who are the stakeholders of this UFM university? Who are the stakeholders? Number one, the business owner of the business is the stakeholder. Number two, the employee, workers are stakeholders. Number three, students are also the stakeholders of this business. Number four, the supplier who supply material. Your teachers are all called stakeholders, shareholders, workers, community, people around this area who are affected by the business are also the stakeholders. Okay. So you must know who are the stakeholders who are engaged in providing the material, distributing the material, who are serving the customer, everyone who are involved in the business are called the stakeholders of the business. Okay. So here I'm explaining you the concept. You must understand the concept first. Okay, the meaning of industry, the meaning of stakeholders, and so on. Clear? Okay. So what are the things that when you talk about an industry, what are the relevant things connected to a particular industry? We can talk about, for example, economic contribution. Let's say if you choose healthcare industry as your industry for your project, then what is the healthcare industry contribution to the economy? In your answer, you must talk this. In your introduction, you can talk about the industry, how important is the industry to the economy. That means the economic contribution. I'm expecting you to provide this kind of information. You understand or not? Okay. So information about the industry is economic contribution. Example, when we talk about economic contribution, talking about GDP, how much contribute to the GDP, employment, innovation. These are example of the thing. For example, automotive industry 2023 contributed 3 trillion to the GDP. So here you are trying to explain the importance of the industry in terms of economic contribution. So find out economic contribution data of the industry that you have selected. Employment generation, how much job created by this industry, direct job, indirect job, how much? Example like manufacturing in the automotive industry employed 14 million. Technological advancement, how much of money they spend on technology. For example, like tax industry spend a lot of money on AI, IoT, cloud computing. If you take IT industry, then you will know how much money they do for research and development to develop their technology. Okay, consumer needs fulfillment. So what are they doing? Example, for example, like fast-moving consumer goods. Fast-moving consumer goods are goods that are sold very fast in the market for daily needs. For example, like food stuff, consumer product. These are products that are sold very fast. If you choose that industry, then you have to talk about those things. Global trade and integration. Okay, many industries operate globally. The industry that you are choosing, is it global or is it local? You can take a local industry, no problem. So you just focus local. If global, then they are affected by any other things. For example, like electronic supply chains, like Vietnam, Vietnam produce a lot of electronic product, correct? And they sell it not for Vietnam market, they sell it for other market, the American market and so on, the European market, they all buy from you. So is there any global connection? Social environment, okay? For example, industry influence. So the particular industry that you are choosing for your project, look at economic contribution, look at employment, talk about the technology, if there is consumer, talk about social environment, how important is that to the industry. So this is the relevant factors or facts that you must give to explain the importance of the industry. Clear? This one you can use as your beginning, starting introduction. So in the introduction, the selected industry, the importance of it. So what is the industry? How is it important? How is it important? Economic contribution, employment contribution. Take some important factor and write. Okay? Clear? This is some of the points you can consider. Okay, so when you're talking about the relevance of the industry, yeah. Okay, any question here so far? Okay. Next, significance of studying the industry. Why have you choose that industry for your project? That is called the significant. Why you choose this? Then how you can explain the significant? You can look at things like, okay, the market opportunities, risk, help policymaker design target regulation, enable studying consumer behavior. You will able to understand about what is the market opportunities in this industry, what are the risks of the firm in this industry. Is there any government control of the industry or not, the regulation? You can study about that. That's why you choose this industry. Okay, consumer behavior in this particular industry. Is there any changes in importance of innovation in this particular industry? So you study, you will be able to understand all this. If you choose the industry, this is the reason why you choose the industry. You will study about the market, opportunities, risk, technology improvement, government regulation related to the industry. This is how you will learn, correct? That shows the importance of the industry. Clear? Okay, this all you can put under your first part of your project, the introduction part. Okay, industry overview. So you must provide the industry that you have chosen, the overview of your industry, chosen industry. So when you talk about a particular industry, okay, what are the things you should be writing about? The product, what are the core product of the industry? Is it tangible? Is it service industry? Example, automobile industry, they produce car, trucks. So your industry that you are, if you're talking about hotel industry, you're talking about food. Okay, they're providing food for your clients. Car industry, car, trucks. Now EV, okay, this industry is now progressing and trying to introduce new model, new types of car, EV. Or example like technology industry, smartphone, laptop, software solution. So these are the product they provide in that particular industry. Supplementary product, if there's supplementary product, example like what in the automotive industry, for example, they provide spare parts, accessories. In the technology industry, they talk about variable device, peripheral gadgets. You know, these are called peripheral gadgets, additional gadgets that you are using. The industry that you are choosing, what are their core business, what their product? Is there any supplementary product or not? Is there any specialized product or not? Provide your answer. When you talk about the industry overview that you are choosing, first talk about product. Must explain the product, the nature of the product. Okay? Specialized product, for example, like luxury cars. Okay, that's very specialized. This is for niche market. You know, niche market? Niche market meaning for certain group of people only will buy, small group, very rich people will buy this product. That is called niche market. For the niche market, not for the mass market. Some product is for mass market. Mass market means big, everyone, for everyone. Then the product is not, in terms of quality, is not very, very good compared to niche market. Niche market, the product quality is very high. So the price is premium. Then can talk about pricing, premium. You're talking about mass market, the product must be average price. Very average price, very fair price. Understand or not? Niche market, luxury product, the prices are normally very expensive. When you talk about pricing later on, because product got connection with pricing. So the industry you're choosing, for example, you talk about hotel industry, restaurant industry, local restaurant industry in Vietnam. Their menu will tell you there are many types of food they serve. But there are so many providers of that kind of business. The industry is very big, correct? Many small providers providing different kind of food. How is the pricing? Who's their market? Are they selling to normal local Vietnamese people? Is it for tourists? Tourist prices are different. Tourists are expecting different kind of food. Understand? To be served different kind of services. Then you can see the price are different. Okay, so these are important for you to understand. Okay, number two, or is it service provider? Service, for example, restaurant business is service. Hair salon business is service. Retail business is product. So, service, for example, what kind of service they provide? Production and manufacturing service, for example, like assembly design, quality control service for the product. Example, contract manufacturing, electronic in electronic industry. Retail and distribution services. You know, retail and distribution services, right? Outlet. You can see the outlet. Who are the distributors? Who are the one who sell the product, distribute the product into the market? That's called the distributors. So, for example, automotive dealers. You know, there are many dealers outlet. For example, you said Toyota. Toyota don't sell the car here. They are dealers, distributors who sell the car for Toyota, correct? That are called the dealers, the distributors. Okay, there are many distributors for the car, in the car industry. Certain distributors focus on certain kind of car. You understand or not? Are you clear? Okay. After sale service. Is there any after sale service provided by the business that you have chosen, the industry that you have chosen? Some people sell the product. After that, they don't care about their customer. Some business, they sell the product, they continue to provide service after the sales. Any problem with the product, they provide the after sales service support. You understand or not? Okay. Is there such a service provided? All this you must see. This is very general, but when you choose your industry, you will find out whether they have all this kind of thing they do or not. If they have, you provide your answer. Okay. Consulting and advisory services. Is there any consulting and advisory services provided? Not for every item, not for every industry. Certain industry, they give you consulting service, advisory service. Okay. For example, like tech consultant for digital transformation project. Okay. They will have consulting and advisory services. Digital and subscription-based service. Online platform, for example, like offering content, tools, for example, like streaming, media. This one is digital. Okay. Do they have such a service or not? Okay. So talk about services, product, services. Is there any value added offering or not? Is there any value added? Value added offering. If you buy this, is there any other thing they provide? Value added offering. For example, like innovation and R&D. Okay, look at innovation and R&D. Example like battery innovation, like car industry. EV don't use any more petrol. They use battery, correct? That is the innovation in the car industry. Customization and personalization. Is the product customized for the local market or not? Or is it a generic product? Generic, you know, generic product is sold for everyone. For example, like aspirin, you know, aspirin, your headache, the product is sold in the market for everyone. But certain drugs are sold for certain group of people, very specialized drug for specialized group of people. So is it customized or is it personalized product that is provided? Okay. Green and sustainable solution. Also talk about that. Don't forget about green and sustainable solution. Nowadays, you will find a lot of products that are produced environmental sustainability product. That means trying to protect the environment. Why they introduce electric car is because they said the conventional car that use fuel, carbon energy car is creating a lot of pollution. So how to sustain the environment? Produce a product that does not damage the environment. Example like electric car. Example like smart shop. What they do is they use recycled material. They don't cut trees and so on. They use recycled material to produce the product. That is sustainability. Very important today in business. Okay. Yeah. Once you have done that, these are things that you can write a bit on your introduction part of the industry overview. Then the industry that you have chosen, you have to talk about the market structure. This one you study, you know, remember you study chapter 14, 15, 16, 17. What do you study in chapter 14, 15, 16, 17? You study about perfect competition. You study about monopolistic competition. You study about monopoly. Have you guys done all this? Done already? Done already. So this is called market structure. So the industry that you have chosen, the industry you have chosen, what kind of market structure is that? Is it a monopoly industry? Is it a perfect competitive industry? Is it a monopolistic competitive industry? Or is it an oligopoly industry? For example, if I talk about local restaurant business, what kind of market structure is this? Anyone? Local restaurant, restaurant business, what industry, what market structure is that? Monopoly? Only one firm, is it? Monopoly means one. Is it only one provider? No, there are so many providers. Are they producing same kind of product or not? No, different. They may look similar, but they are different in terms of taste and how they prepare the product. But there are so many of them. So it's monopolistic competition. So you must correctly identify the industry that you have chosen, whether they are in the market, what type of market structure, whether it's monopoly, whether it's perfect competition, or whether it's oligopoly or monopolistic competition. You cannot say all four, only one of it only. Then you must then talk about detail of the market structure. So when you write down about market structure, for example, it can be perfect competition, it can be monopolistic competition, oligopoly or monopoly. What's the difference? Anyone? What is perfect competition? How do you know whether the industry that you have chosen is a perfect competition industry? Number one, many firms, small firms. Number two, they produce same product. For example, agriculture market. In the primary market, primary market, agriculture primary market, normally they are more perfect competitive. No entry barriers. Anyone can go into the industry and start the business. Any firm wants to leave the industry can leave the industry. So they have no market power. They cannot set the price. If the firms that you have chosen, the industry you have chosen, and the firms cannot set the price, that means it must be a perfect competitive industry. Then you describe according to that particular market structure. If the industry that you have chosen shows there are so many firms, small firms in the industry producing not same product, similar product, differentiated product. Like what? Example like what? What industry? Consumer product industry, cosmetic industry, soft drink industry, hotel industry. There's so many hotels, small hotel, big hotel. Understand or not? But they are not the same. They provide similar product service. How do you know similar? You go in, the room are different. The arrangement are different. Correct? If you talk about hotel industry. They all provide the same service, but the services they provide are differentiated. Differentiated, different. That's why the charges are different. So when the firm can sell something which is different from other firm, they have some market power. Market power means you can set the price. That's why you can see different seller out there, the food seller out there. If the product are same, price are same. If the product shows some different, prices are different. This is called product differentiation. Differentiating the product give the firm some market power to set the price. Okay, that you can find in all monopolistic competition. The word competition means there are many small firms selling similar product. Similar means not same, similar product, very close substitute. Example like food industry. Okay. Easy to enter, easy to exit. Whenever firms can enter and exit the market, that means this firm in the long run normally makes normal profit only. Then you can relate to profits, the outcome of the market. The outcome of the market activity is normal profit. Perfect competition, normal profit. You study this, right? In theory, it will tell you perfect competitive firm in the long run makes normal profit. Monopolistic firm in the long run only make normal profit. In the short run, they can make profit losses, but long run only normal profit. Monopoly, short run, long run can make profit. Oligopoly in the short run and long run can make a lot of profit. Why? Because they have a lot of market power. They can stop firm from entering the market. They create barriers. You know, for example, like how they create barriers. You know what is it? Barriers in business? Barriers, you know. Barriers can be created through what? Number one, capital barriers. You want to get into the airline industry, you want to start an airline business, you need a lot of money, billions of dollars. You want to go to oil industry, not easy, billions of dollars. Yeah, $1 million, $2 million, you cannot get into the aircraft making industry, oil industry. You cannot enter this industry. But if you want to start a small hotel, that one easy to enter, no problem. Because you don't need so much of money. $1 million, you can start a business already. Food industry, 1 million is good enough already. But oil industry, 1 million not enough. That is called barriers. Technological barriers. Sometimes certain kind of product industry requires very advanced technology, very skilled workers. That means you must have the money to employ advanced technology skilled workers, not cheap. That is also barriers. So monopoly, why they are one firm in the market? Because they know how to create the barriers. The barriers give them the monopoly status. So barriers can come from the firm creating the barriers or the government create the barriers. The government can create barriers by giving only license to one firm. You want to start the business, you must have license. The license provided by the government. If the government give license to only one firm, that means in the market only there is one firm. The licensing is the barriers already. And these barriers created by who? By the government. So barriers can be created by the government, barriers can be created by the firm. So you write down in your project, the industry, the firm that you've chosen, who creates the barrier, if there is a barrier. We are talking about monopolistic competition and perfect competition. The answer is there is no barriers. Monopoly, there is barriers. Then you must provide what kind of barriers? Economies of scale barriers. Is it economies of scale barriers? Is it, they control the resources? Sometimes certain firms control resource. So other firms cannot get the resource. They can't produce. So what is the barriers created? Okay. So first thing, find out which the industry that you have chosen fall under which market structure. That means you cannot talk about all the four market structure. You only have to choose one market structure relevant to the industry that you have chosen. It may be monopolistic competition. It may be most likely perfect competition, very difficult. Very ideal. In real world, very difficult to find perfect competition. Monopolistic competition, yes. Monopoly, yes. Oligopolistic competition, yes. So you decide the industry and tell which your industry fall under which market structure. That means you have to talk only one only. Is it monopolistic competition? Is it oligopoly? Or is it the monopoly? Which one? Then you can write the detail. Okay. So example, automotive industry is oligopoly. Very few firms that produce cars. Aircraft industry is oligopolistic. Very few firms produce aircraft. Tech industry, software industry, monopolistic competition. Many small firms that produce software technology, software. There are so many providers can create software for you, no problem. It's very monopolistic. Okay, so number one, market, number of firms in the market and market concentration ratio. So what is this? Monopoly, for example, only one firm. They control how many percent of the market? How many percent of the market is controlled by the monopoly? Very good, 100%. Correct. So what is the market concentration ratio? 100% of the market controlled by one firm. No competition. Oligopoly firm? Oligopoly like car industry, aircraft industry, all this. Very few large firms. Normally they control four largest firm in the industry. Four largest firm in the industry may control more than 50% of the market. Monopolistic competition, the many small firms, four largest firm in the industry control less than 50%. So that's how you distinguish between oligopoly and monopolistic competition by finding out the market concentration ratio. You know what's the market concentration ratio? Anyone? How do you calculate the market concentration ratio? This one. Market concentration ratios. CR4 means the market concentration ratio of the four largest firms. The four largest firm, market concentration ratio of four largest firm in the industry. For automotive industry, the four largest firm market control is Toyota, Volkswagen, General Motors, Ford. 1, 2, 3, 4 control more than 50%. That's why they call it oligopoly. But if we take the four market concentration ratio, if you find the percentage is less than 50%, then you say monopolistic competition. Four largest firm. Okay. So, for example, like hotel industry is very monopolistic competition. Food industry, restaurant industry is monopolistic competition. The four largest restaurant in the country control less than 50%. Okay, level of competition. Number of firms, level of competition very high if it is monopolistic and perfect competition. The level of competition is very low in oligopoly and monopoly. That is related to level of competition. Okay. These are all called the characteristic of the market. We are talking about the characteristic of the market. Number two, then you have to talk about entry barriers. All this come under the market structure explanation of the industry that you have chosen. Number one, you must talk about the number of firms and market concentration ratio. Number two, you talk about entry barriers. Number three, you talk about their product and so on. Entry barriers for monopoly, very high. Entry barriers for perfect competition and monopolistic competition, very low. Oligopoly, high. Not easy to enter oligopoly market. Not easy to enter the monopoly market, but it's very easy for firms to enter the monopolistic and perfect competition market. Okay, so talk about that, entry barriers. As I told you, barriers can come in many forms. Legal barriers, for example, like patent law, licensing requirement. These are creating barriers. Economic barriers, capital investment, economies of scale. Strategic barriers, brand loyalty, predatory pricing. Some firms, what they do is they sell the product at very low price. You know what's a predatory pricing? Which is illegal, cannot do actually. According to the law, we cannot simply sell very low price to do what? Why firms sell very low price? What they're trying to do? They want to kill other firms. They want to destroy the other firms. They sell very low price. Your price $10, but you sell at $5. Other firms cannot match your price. They cannot come to your price. Understand or not? So what do? You capture the market. You capture the market, you destroy them. That's called predatory, which is illegal against the law. But some firms may do that. Why they do that? They want to get rid of competition so that they can control the market. Once they control the market, they can bring the price up. That's the idea. Okay. But that, remember, predatory pricing is illegal. You don't go and put, hey, this company do this. Okay. Sometimes illegally they do this. Example, industry like tech industry, what are the entry barriers? High R&D costs. You want to go into the technology industry, you must have a lot of money to do research and development. If you don't have budget for research and development, forget about this particular industry because you cannot survive. You know, all this IT industry, they spend a lot of money doing research. Okay. Intellectual property protection. Automotive industry, very high capital requirement. A lot of investment, you need investment capital, millions of dollars required to start the business. That is for different industry have different kind of barriers. Okay, then talk about product. Okay, product, whether the product they produce are same or similar. But product differentiation can be horizontal differentiation. Horizontal means like that. Okay, different style, different design. That is same product. You're wearing different. Let's say your t-shirt are all different. This is horizontal product differentiation. Vertical product differentiation, different. Okay, so find out about that. For example, automotive industry, electric car versus petrol car. High-tech industry, high-end versus budget smartphone. You know, phone like iPhone, very expensive, but there are also cheaper phone. So this is at the horizontal product differentiation. So when you talk about market structure of the industry that you have chosen, number one, what you must talk about? The number of firms. And then give example of firm in that industry. I want example. Don't say so many. For example, in this industry, there are firms like this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, example. Number two, entry barriers. Number three, product. Number four, we talk about pricing. Pricing. Do they have the market power or not to set the price? Pricing. So pricing power and independent. So for example, like perfect competition, they are price takers. The firm in perfect competition cannot set the price. The price set by the market. Monopoly are price makers. Oligopoly, what they do is sometimes they have what they call it, they avoid pricing war. They avoid price competition, so they engage in non-price competition. Okay. Example like airline industry, oligopoly, dynamic pricing. Competitors influenced by competitors move and demand shift. That means sometimes in the airline industry, you'll find the pricing of the ticket are different, right? You want to go travel somewhere, you want to buy the ticket charges, the airfare charges may not be the same all the time. Have you noticed or not? Sometimes you can get cheaper ticket price. Sometimes it's more expensive. Closer to the date, more expensive. Correct? These are strategies used by oligopoly firms. Okay? So there is no such thing as fixed pricing. Okay, then provide some example of real-world example of your market structure. Example like perfect competition, normally agriculture-related market, like wheat market, rice market. Monopolistic industry, for example, like apparel, that means the textile industry, brand design like Zara, H&M, all these are monopolistic competition. I think you know all this product, correct? There are competitors. They sell similar product, not same product. They have different design, different needs for their customer. Oligopoly market, for example, like telecommunication market. Monopoly market, for example, like electricity provider market. So these are example of real world example of market structure I given. But you choose the industry that you want to choose, and you identify whether the industry that you have chosen is perfect competition, monopolistic competition, oligopoly, or monopoly. Cannot, again, remember, you cannot say the industry is in all these four category, cannot. Must be only in one of this market structure. Understand? You know, if, let's say movie industry, you know, movie theater. You have theaters, right? That industry is not a monopoly industry. There are few providers of movies in this, in your country. So who are the providers? So are they providing the same product or not? Like that. Okay, service, is it the same? Find out. Okay. Okay, that is the characteristic of the market. Okay, any question? Because you are expected, I will be giving you in the project structure what you're supposed to write. So don't worry. So when I said market structure means now you know what is you need to write under market structure. Understand or not? Talk about which market structure is this? Is it monopoly, perfect competition, or oligopoly? Then you write the characteristic accordingly. If you said the industry that you're choosing is in a monopolistic competition industry, then you provide the characteristic of the monopolistic competition industry only. Don't go and talk about monopoly, nothing to do with monopoly. Understand or not? Then you say there are many firms in this industry. Example, these are the firms. Okay, the four largest firms in the industry only control 20% of the market. So you give all these specific details of the industry that you have chosen. But make sure, again, I told you, whichever industry you want to choose, go and do a research first. Find out whether you can find the details or not, the data of that industry. If you have, choose that industry, easier. You understand? First, research first. Then decide which industry you want to write. Okay? You want to talk about coffee market industry in Vietnam, go and find out. If there are report on that, take. You can find certain reports. I can show you example of reports later on. Okay? Okay, any question? Any question? Yeah, give you a short break, 15 minutes break. When you come back, we will continue. Huh? Okay. Okay, let's continue. Okay. Okay. Pay attention. Let's continue. Okay, first thing, you write about the overview of the industry. When you talk about overview of the industry, there are a few things that you can talk about. I already explained. Then you go into explaining the market structure of the industry that you have chosen. Then after that, you talk about the demand and supply. What are the factors affecting the demand for the in particular industry? So you study in the so chapter 4 becomes very important. So what you study? What are the factors that affects the demand for a product? There's so many factors. For example, like the price of the goods, price of other goods, income level of consumers. Correct. What else? Taste and preference changes, changes to population size, changes to number of buyers, changes to expectation of price. So many factors. You study in theory, there are many factors, but for your particular industry, what are the key factors you must discuss? So example, when we talk about demand, of course, you have to talk about price. Very important. Price is one very important factor affecting the market of a product. So price, do not forget. Okay. How important is pricing to the consumer of the industry that you have chosen? How important is pricing? If you are talking about a market where you are selling to a mass market, pricing is very important. You cannot set very high price because that market, they prefer lower price. You set higher price, less people will buy. So understand the pricing of the product, very important. Number two, how important is income? No, income changes, for example. What happens to the market? Talking about the industry they have chosen, is income a very important factor. If the country's people's income are changing, people are getting more income, more money, living standard increasing, the product also changes according to the income level. Otherwise, the product will be consumed by low-income consumers, and low-income consumers are becoming smaller because most are now becoming middle-income or higher-income consumers. Higher income consumers and lower income consumers' behavior are totally different. The kind of product they buy are totally different. So the industry that you have chosen, they are selling what type of product for which kind of consumer. Do you understand or not? So pricing, very important. Okay. Income, very important factor that you have to discuss. Consumer preference and taste. Consumer preference. Nowadays, consumers, they are very educated consumers. You're all educated people, correct? So when you buy things, you may consider buying goods which are environmental friendly. You buy goods which are environmental friendly. You buy goods which are good for your health. So producer also changing their product according to the taste and preference of their consumers. If the firm do not do the changes, then the consumers will stop buying their product. You understand what I'm trying to say? If the consumer in the market are becoming more and more educated consumers over the time, I'm talking about over the time, the consumers are becoming more educated, more aware about the importance of environment, more aware about the importance of health, they will start picking and choosing the kind of product that support this idea of health and environmental friendly product. Therefore, you find firms also changing their product according to this. If they do not change their product to the needs and taste and preference of their consumer, they may find that their product may not be marketable in the market anymore. People may not want to buy. Are you clear? Got it? And nowadays, young people very savvy with the technology, right? Nowadays, you go and buy things also, you use your technology. You don't use currency anymore. You make payment, correct? Using QR code payment to scan, pay, scan, pay. This is how the consumer are wanting to make their payment. The seller must change their behavior. They also must start changing the way they accept the payment. They must come up with a QR code and display. If they say, no, I don't want to use this, you may pay me cash, and then you will lose your customer because the young people don't carry cash. So this change in the behavior of consumer are very important to the producer. If young people educated, now people are educated, your income level, the country's income going up, living standard going up, more and more people are becoming educated, and more people are getting better income. When you are getting better income and more educated, your product that you're looking for is different already. Your tastes are different, change. Your preference are different. You are looking for product that, support your idea. What is your idea? You want healthy product. So you start looking for product which are not, produced using harmful material. For example, like preservative, coloring, all these kind of product slowly will be phased out from the market if consumers are very concerned about their health. So you can nowadays find producer will put there no preservative, no coloring. Got or not? Why are they doing that? If they don't put that, people have doubt, hey, this product can consume or not. Safe for consume. Because this kind of material they use in their production can cause health problem, cancer and so on comes from this chemical reaction in the body. Chemical in the food that goes into your body causes you problem. So you are not going to support this kind of product. That's why you see a lot of products are now changing according to the importance of health and environment. You can see a lot of changes happening like that. Organic product, for example, becoming more and more important. Of course, organic is not produced in a large scale yet. But if 90% of the population are very educated and know the importance of health and they start looking for organic product, producer convert their product into organic product. So these changes, is that happening in the industry that you have chosen? Is that an important factor? So you discuss. Here I'm listing you down all the factors that can relate to demand, but choose which are the important one for your industry. Okay. Price, substitute, and complements. So what is this? Now, for example, you talk about books. You have e-books and printed books. What you find? A lot of books now are e-books, not printed books anymore, correct? Why? Cheaper. Why? Better. Why? Cleaner. Save the environment. Many reasons for this. And why? Because of the technology support this idea. You have the internet technology. You have now very powerful internet. You can access to all this kind of material without much problem. 20 years ago, ebook very little. Internet technology very not so advanced. But today, very advanced. You understand or not? So these are things that are changing that affects the firms in the market. Are they changing accordingly or not? So publishers are now thinking about, if you are talking about book industry, publishing book industry, then you can talk about these technology changes that are affecting the producer, how they provide the product. If they provide the product, printed books, people are not reading young people like you all, you don't like hard copies. I don't think you like hard copies because you are using your phone, your gadget all the time, your laptop, your tab, your notebook or whatever you call it. You are very comfortable using this to read. My generation different. We all read hard copies on. Generation are changing. People are changing. Technology are changing. So the product, demand for the product are also changing accordingly. And you as a seller must understand this. So provide what are the important factors affecting the demand for the product. Okay. Market demographic. The product is sold for whom? We cannot sell the product for everyone in the market. There are certain product for young people, certain car model for young people, certain car for family, certain cars for business, certain car for rich people. So that is called the market demographic. Okay. Certain product are seasonal. Seasonal means at a certain time the business is good. For example, like hotel industry, airline industry, certain time, peak time, very good business, off peak time. So talk about your business that you are choosing, whether they have this kind of factors affecting the demand or not. So these are the some of the factors you can talk about affecting the demand for the product in the market. So when we talk about market, demand and supply, correct? So what are the supply factors? Supply factors, production costs. So when we talk about production costs, there are many things that affect the cost of the production, correct? One very important factor is the raw material price. Number two is the labor costs. For example, if there is minimum wages in the country, labor costs will go up. So when you talk about costs, relate to labor costs, material costs, which can affect the supply. Okay, example like steel price rising. So what happened? Car price become very expensive because the cost of producing the car is higher now. Clear? So production costs, or simply you can say this one, you can relate this to the price of inputs. Okay, you can say this as the price of inputs. It's a very important factor deciding this. Okay. Technology. What kind of technology used by the firm that you have chosen? Are they required to use very advanced technology or is it very basic technology? You understand? Okay, if they are required to use advanced technology, that means, okay, you can relate that to productivity, reduction in cost, supply increasing. Okay, example like automation in factories. You go to the factory nowadays, they use a lot of machine to produce. But certain kind of product or service, they still need people. You go for haircut. Haircut needs a lot of specialized kind of, the person who provide you the service. The charges are different. Some basic haircut, very cheap. Some kind of haircut, very more expensive. Correct or not? Sometimes you may have to pay $10. Some haircut, you only pay $5, you can get the haircut. Why there's a different? Is how they are catering for which kind of market. Okay, resource availability also will determine the supply of the goods in the market. Is it easy to get the resources to produce the goods? If resources are very difficult to find, that means the production is difficult. So supply will be affected. For example, like semiconductor shortages disrupted the automotive technology. That means this is the resource input required for making automotive or car semiconductor, because now a lot of cars using electronic. So you need semiconductors, the chips, the parts. If you find this semiconductor is not enough in the market, the car production will be affected because car needs this as one of the parts, very important parts in making car. Okay. Government regulation, government intervention in the market. For example, like government policies and taxes. I give you a very good example. Donald Trump, the January 23rd, he will be becoming the president of US, right? He has very big idea. He's going to increase the tariff. Tariff means tax. Tax of what? Imported goods. So countries that will be badly affected by the raise in the tax will be which country? China, definitely. Vietnam, also definitely, because Vietnam sell a lot of goods to US. China also, US. And why is it increasing the tariff tax? Because he want to protect his local industry. So what happens? So this can affect the firms in this country, like China. They have to look for alternative market. The Chinese car, electric car, a lot of this electric car, difficult to sell in America because America people reject electric car. They don't want electric car. They prefer the conventional car. But the Chinese are producing a lot of this car. You can see on the road. So what they do? They take this car and dump into other market. Like now in Malaysian market, I can see a lot of Chinese car. Why? Because they close the market in one country, they find another market alternative. So this is what they do. So when government introduce certain policy affecting the firm, what are the policy that are used? For example, you talk about restaurant business. There are certain policy related to restaurant business. The government will say cleanliness very important. So they give you grading A, B, C. C means very not very clean outlet. A, fantastic, very good. So they will come and regulate the market. They come and check and see and give you this. Sometimes they will impose penalty if it is really dirty. Ask you to stop your operation for time being for 2 weeks and make all the necessary changes in order for you to resume your operation. So these are some policies related to that particular industry. So every industry, there are certain kind of government control. The industry that you have chosen, what are the regulations to that particular industry? You must find out. The specific detail of the industry government policy must be mentioned in your project. Okay. So example, is there any regulation? Is there any tax imposed? Is there any subsidies? Okay, all this can affect the supply of the goods in the market. Now, government is giving a lot of subsidies for firms that produce sustainable product. Sustainable, that sustain the environment. They give you a lot of subsidies for that, encouraging firm to be clean producer, green producer. So is there such thing given or not? Okay, find out. Market entry. This is affecting the number of firms in the market. If the entry, for example, like in monopolistic competition or in perfect competition, entry is very easy. So you'll find there are many firms that produce similar product or same product. For monopoly, entry very difficult. That means there are only one producer in the market. So what is this firm that you have chosen? Okay, why there are many firms in the market, or why is it only one firm? You relate to the entry barriers. Okay. Natural factor. Is the business affected by natural factor or not? For example, if you are talking about agriculture business, definitely weather is a very important factor. Okay. So for example, like flood and sometimes very too hot weather also is not very good. Not enough rain is also not very good for this industry called agriculture industry. So find out what are the factors, supply factors affecting the suppliers of the industry that you have chosen. This is very general, but you have to be very specific in your project. Okay. Are you clear now? Any question up to here? Is there any question? Okay, next. Demand and supply. That means this is the market interaction, how the price is set. So when we talk about demand and supply, the interaction between the demand and supply is how the price and the quantity will be set, correct? You study this in chapter 4, how the price the demand and supply of a goods here is determining the price and the quantity. Remember, this is what we mean by market interaction. But certain goods, the price set by the government is not set by the market. Is your product that you're talking, the industry you're talking, the price is controlled by the government, or is it set by the market? Is set by the market? Is it market or is it by the firm? In perfect competition, perfect competition is set by the market, not by the firm. But if it is monopolistic competition, oligopoly or monopoly, the price is set by the firm because they are price decider. They are not price taker. Okay. Okay. Is there any changes in the market or not? Of course, if you want to relate to, is there any factor affecting the demand or the supply of the goods in the market? You already know what are the factors. Is there any changes? Why the demand is increasing? Why is the supply is increasing? What are the contributing factor? Talk about it. Understand? Okay. Why is the supply demand falling? Then you also need to know. Okay. Why are more and more people in Vietnam eating outside? Vietnamese now, most of them are eating outside, correct? Go out and eat, correct? Those days, you go back home and eat. Nowadays, more and more people are eating outside, and outside food, the industry, the market is booming. Everywhere, every corner you can see restaurant, stalls, catering for different kind of market, different kind of people. You have your lunch. Where do you have your lunch? You go out of the campus, you see a lot of stall. That's where you eat. But not everyone go and eat there. This is where students go and eat. Why students eat there? You like to go and eat in some other places, but you are forced to eat there. Why? Because you are a student, you are not working people. Your money is very limited. Your parents give you so much of money. So much of money allow you to eat in this kind of area. So that market, if we are talking about that industry, they are catering for this kind of market. People who are having very restricted income. That is their target. For you, that goes out there and eat, they offer you very basic food, very basic. You cannot be demanding. For the amount of money that you pay for the food, you cannot be very demanding. You have to accept whatever they offer because it is cheap, correct? Relatively cheaper than any other place. You want better food, you pay a higher price. So you go to another place to eat. So the food industry is many different kind of provider in the industry. Very interesting. Okay, so talk about how the price is set by the in the market. Responsiveness, elasticity. Talk about the responsiveness of the consumer. So how are they? Very responsive or not? For example, for basic, if you're selling basic goods, the consumer are not so responsive. If the consumer has no choices, they are not so responsive. If the consumer has a lot of choices, if the good is not a basic necessity, they are very responsive. That means price, very sensitive. They are very sensitive to price. So you'll find the price, normally are cheaper. Product which are very highly elastic, the price are cheaper. Product that are not very inelastic, the prices are normally higher because the consumer are not sensitive to the price. You understand or not? Okay, so talk about a bit on price sensitivity or elasticity. Okay, it can be the demand for consumer, supplier. Are they able to produce more or not when the price goes up? That is a response of the supplier to the price. Okay, that determines by many factors. Okay, demand sensitivity depends on factor like the types of product, how much money you spend on the goods. Understand or not? Is there any substitute? That is demand. Supply, the kind of resources you use, time, very important factor. Okay, clear? Elasticity. Okay, for example, in the real world example, I can give you a high demand product. What are the high demand product? Like technology gadgets. Supply constraint, renewable energy component. not easy to produce this kind. Supply is constrained because solar panel required high demand during high demand. Okay. So implication for the industry, what happens? So understanding the demand and supply of the business, very important, because important in deciding the pricing. So what kind of pricing to be charged for the consumer? Or you plan your production schedule. Okay. Manage inventory effectively, response to market changes. So these are very important for firms to understand the market. They need to know how to produce. They need to know how to manage their inventory. Inventory means those products they are not sold. They keep in their store. They must know how to manage that. They cannot have so many items in the inventory because inventory means no revenue, cost, but no revenue. They have to know how to manage inventory. They must know how to manage their production plan. They must know how to set the price. All this they will know if they understand the market. Their market. If you understand your market, you know how to respond to the market. Okay. So that talks about the market. Okay, any question on this so far? So what they have done so far, we know, number one, you need to write about the industry. Number two, you must talk about the market structure. Number three, you must talk about the market factors. Market. In this market, you talk about demand, supply, and also elasticity. So far, this is what we have done. So industry overview, industry introduction of the industry. Okay, what to write here? Market structure. Talk about the market structure, the characteristic of the market. Then you talk about the market, the demand and supply factor affecting the firm in this industry. Okay, and also the nature of the product will tell you the sensitivity of the producer and consumer towards the price. Okay. So far, that is what we have done. Okay. Okay. Any question? Anyone has anything to ask? Any question? Okay, no question. Competition, competitive dynamic. Okay, talk about the industry that we've chosen. Is there any competition or not? If there is competition, is it local or global? Okay, so identify the competitors. Who are the competitors of the industry? Is it local firms or is it global players? Very important. Example, like automotive industry, you have Toyota, Tesla, Volkswagen, and regional manufacturers. There are many other manufacturers. If you talk about tech industry, who are the competitors? The market players, we have Apple, Samsung, Microsoft, and many other firms in the market. Don't forget about who are the competitors in the market. Okay. Market share analysis. Market share meaning how the firm that you're talking about, the industry, what is the market share competition of the firm in the market. Okay. For example, like you talk about smartphone market. Apple market control, market share is 25%. Very big market share. Samsung, 20%. These two already give you 45% control of the market. So this you know already, it must be an oligopolistic market. Smartphone producer. Electric car market, Tesla control 15% of the global market share, which is quite big. Global. You're not talking about one particular country, it's global market share. So write down about the market share of the industry that you have chosen. That means the industry you have chosen, the breakdown of the market share. How many percent controlled by, let's say, you're talking about restaurant business in Vietnam industry. Then local restaurant control how many percent? You know, franchising business, how many percent? Because when you talk about food industry, restaurant, you have franchising, correct? Like fast food. You have local outlet, small stall. How many percent they control? Okay, that is market share. Competitive strategies. So what kind of competitive strategies they apply? Is it they are using pricing strategies? What kind of pricing strategies do the firm use? Firm compete using some cost leadership, some premium pricing model they use. Premium meaning they charge very high price. For example, like a smartphone is premium pricing. Cost leadership, that means you are the best producer in the market with a very low cost. Let's say 3 firms, A, B, and C. Okay, you take 3 firms. Who's the cost leader? Let's say firm A, B, and C. The average total cost, A, let's say $10, B, $5, $2. So who is the leader in this market? So C will be the one setting the price. The rest will become follower. They have no choice. They have to follow whatever price set by the leader. Is that thing happening in the market? Or is it the market set the price? The firm has no right to set the price, the competitive market. So you have to look like that. Huh? So firms competing, example like budget airline, adopt low cost pricing. For example, like Air Asia, all this, you know. Vietnam also, they have their low cost budget, right? Airline. What they call? Jet. Vietjet, correct? That is low cost in airline. For them, pricing very low. They don't, and then you go into the airplane, very basic, not so comfortable sitting. But if you go premium pricing airline, you know, they have business class and so on. Business class, they charge you very high. No, economy class, different charges. So which one? So airline industry will have different kind of pricing for different kind of people they are taking. For example, like airline industry, you have business class, business people fly business class, they pay high price, premium price. Economy class pay economy price. Understand or not? So these are pricing that are used by the firm. The industry that you have chosen, the firm, how are they setting their pricing? Discuss about that. Okay, product differentiation. So what is product differentiation? How firms differentiate their product? If you are selling food, how are you going to differentiate your product? Tell me. In the food industry, how are you going to differentiate your product? I've seen restaurants selling only said organic food restaurant, vegan, vegetarian. This is how you differentiate. You are not catering for everyone. People who are vegetarian go to the vegetarian. Who are vegan, go and eat there. So this they differentiate, they cater for their market, and they can set their price, no problem. Normally, the vegetarian and vegan prices are a bit more expensive. Organic food more expensive because you know the material they use are more expensive. So like that, how the firm differentiate? Do they differentiate their product? If they are differentiating their product, meaning definitely they are not in perfect competitive market. They must be either in monopolistic market or oligopoly market. Okay. So example I given here like Tesla focuses on EV and sustainable branding. That means they're saying their product is very safe for the environment. This product does not damage the environment. That's how they differentiate their product. Okay, some focus on quality, some focus on, you know, certain features they take cheap. Some people will say, some seller will say their product is cheaper than any other product in the market. So they go for pricing. So they use very cheap material to produce the product. How about innovation and R&D? Okay, of course, like company like Tesla, smartphone, Apple will spend a lot of money. Their budget for R&D budget, huge, very huge R&D budget. These are firm that focuses on innovation, innovative firm. Example like tax firms, tax coming out with software and so on. They spend a lot of money on innovation, R&D. They innovate their product. So we call this innovative firm. Okay. So the firm that you have chosen, are they focusing on this? If there are, then you talk about it. If they're producing only very basic item, then innovation is not so much. The budget for innovation will be very, very little. Understand or not? In the food industry, innovation, maybe the food innovation, yes, no. Okay, how they prepare the food. Okay, marketing and branding. So build marketing, brand loyalty and market visibility. How are they creating this? How much money they spend on this? Also got budget for marketing. You can find the detail about this budget for marketing in the internet, no problem. You take a firm and you can find out how much, or industry, how much they spend on average on marketing or branding. Some company will spend billions of dollars on marketing, like Nike. You can Google and see. You're talking about the industry, sports, sportwear industry, for example, like Nike, Adidas, and so on. They spend a lot of money R&D. They spend a lot of money marketing. The marketing budget and R&D budget is huge. But you talk about the food stall in the people, the hawkers selling food, they don't spend so much on advertising. They don't spend so much on R&D. You ask them, what's your R&D budget? They say zero. What's the marketing? No marketing budget, zero. They just sell for people in this small area only. If they are out there selling to you only, understand, or people working in this area, that's all. That's their market. Why should they go and advertise in the newspaper or in the television and so on? Because their market is very localized market. But if your industry or firm that you're choosing in the industry where the firms are spending a lot, need to spend a lot, then you have to mention how much. Okay, how big is their budget for marketing and branding and all this? How important is all these activities? Okay, so that's how you look at competitive strategies. So competitive forces. So what is this competitive forces? If you study management, they will teach you competitive force. Have you done management 101? Okay. If you study management, they teach you Porter model and so on. That means when you talk about firms, they talk about threats, opportunities, strength and weaknesses. That one come under this one, competitive forces. Okay, what are the strength of that firm or the industry? What is the threat? So nowadays, a lot of industry must know how to convert that threat into strength. Understand or not? Their weaknesses into strength, threat into opportunities. Threat, opportunities, and threat is from the external environment. Strength and weaknesses is in the internal environment of a business. What is the strength of, let's say, UFM, University Finance? Maybe they are lecturers, 100% PhD holders. That's your strength. If only 1% PhD holder, that is their weakness. But how can you change your weakness into strength? You give scholarship to your lecturers to go and upgrade their knowledge, get a PhD, and then become doctorate. And then over 5 years, from 1% become 30%. That means you are converting your weakness into strength. Threat and opportunities is from external environment. For example, if the government impose new policy which affects your business, that is the threat. But if you change according to what the government are doing, then you're changing the threat into opportunities. And those companies who are not making any changes, it remains threat to them and they may be out of business. You understand or not? So when you talk about firms, these are important things that you have to relate to. Okay, what are the threats? Okay, threat, for example, threat of new entrants. If your business easy to enter, your industry easy to enter, that means long run, the long run profit will be normally what? Normal, zero. Have you studied perfect competition already? Monopolistic competition? Long run profit is zero, right? Normal profit. Then you can draw the diagram and show the implication of no entry barriers. If the market that you are choosing is a monopolistic market, then make sure you draw the diagram, monopolistic market model diagram, and show that the firm in the long run makes zero profit. Okay, the outcome of this is long run profit is zero. If it's a monopoly market, in the long run, they can continue to make profit, no problem, because no entry threat. Okay. Bargaining power of buyers. Do the buyer has any bargaining power or not? Okay, let me tell you, if you want to go for your lunch, you buy let's say you want to take soup. How much? How much you have to pay? 20,000 dong. Can you bargain? Can you say, hey, give me 15,000 dong? That means you have no bargaining power. The buyer has no bargaining power. The seller set the price already. You want, you take it. You don't want, leave it. But there are certain places where you can bargain. If you go and buy, let's say, shoe, not in the supermarket, in a shop, you can bargain. If they put there, say 1 million dong, you can say, give me for 80,000, I will buy. Then you may get. You understand or not? That is called the bargaining power of buyers. Do the buyer has bargaining power or not? In a perfect competition market, all the price set by the market, the buyer has no power. Even in a monopoly market, sometimes the buyer has no power. They have to set. So depending on the market. So bargaining power, whether there is bargaining power or not. Okay. Bargaining power of seller, supplier. The supplier has the bargaining power. When supplier buy raw material, can they negotiate the price? Of course they have. Let's say if I buy raw material from a supplier, I said, the supplier said, okay, the price is $10. I want $8. You give me, I will buy the material. Normally supplier will, the buyer of this raw material, the supplier who go and buy the raw material may get a better price. They can negotiate the price. So they have some bargaining power. You understand or not? That also depends how many suppliers in the market. If there is only one supplier in the market, the supplier raw material, then your bargaining power is zero already because you have no choice. If there is only one buyer in the market, talking about the bargaining power of the buyer, if there is only one buyer who buy all the material, then the buyer has very high bargaining power. If there are so many buyers in the market, then your bargaining power will drop. Similarly, if there are so many sellers in the market, the bargaining power of the seller will fall. You understand? Okay. Threat of substitute, of course, this one depends on whether there is any entry or not. You talk about monopolistic market and perfect competition, there's always threat of entry because there are always firms that can enter the market and provide, similar product in the market or same product in the market. Okay. Industry rivalry, is there any competition or not? Example like is talk about sometimes high in industry rivalry means your competitors. So who are the competitors? Can any other firms come into the market or not? You talk about fast food industry like that. McDonald's. Do you have McDonald's in Vietnam? Who are the competitors of McDonald's? Some more? Huh? Again? Gloria. What else? So many, right? So many, Papa, don't know what, Johnny, or that. So many I see. This is what they call as the rivalry. Hey, why there are so many firm like that, providers in the market? Why? Because this business very easy to start. Very easy. And these are mostly a franchise business. Franchise, is not their own business. It's American, like KFC is American franchise, right? McDonald's is from America. You sign a franchise agreement, you take the business, you start. They will teach you how to start the business, how to produce, what pricing to set. All that will be told. And they will take certain percentage. That's how the business works in franchising. So rivalry very important, I find out. Okay. Okay, any question so far here? Is there any question? Morning, we will do only 19 slides. In the morning, I will do 19 slides. Then afternoon, I will do another 19 slides. Then tomorrow, 19 slides. That's how we finish it. So I will not take 3 hours, 4 hours like that. I just go by slides only. Okay. So most likely by 10:30, we can finish the morning session. Okay. Okay, any question up to now here? Any question you want to ask? Anything that you need clarify? Need to clarify. Is there anything you want further explanation? Anything? Everything okay so far? So what do you think I'm trying to explain to you? When you write, these are things that must be there in your answer, but not everything. Some idea when you talk about market means what you have to talk about market structure means what you have to write about market structure. Okay. Always provide the specific detail of the industry, specific. Don't give generic. Specific means the industry details must be written because this is a project. Okay. Okay, key success factor. What are the reasons for the firm to be successful in this industry? Adaptability, maybe one reason. Adapt to the changes very fast because things are changing very fast, correct or not? For example, like you talk about food industry. The food industry changed a lot during the period of 2019, 2020. Why? What happened 2019, 2020? In 2019 and 2020, COVID. Then you see the food industry to survive, they change, they adapt to the problem very fast, very quickly. What they do? Straight away, they come out with the apps. They sell online. Straight away, they have people delivering your product. So that industry already booming. Until today, more people are convenient, very comfortable with buying online already. They want to buy food, they order online. Very easy, very convenient. Even though it's relatively more expensive, but they find it is much easier for them. Very convenient. Convenient. The word is convenient. People give importance to convenient. They don't mind spending extra $1, $2 for convenient. People prepare or ready to do this. So business also know this, and they start promoting their business online. Less people going face to face, going to the shop to buy things already. More people are using online to purchase. So business must follow the trend. This is caused by what? The digital transformation, internet transformation. Internet technology allows businesses to go and transform their business the way they do their business accordingly. So you find every small business, even a very simple one is the mode of payment, making payment. That is very, even a small, how do you make payment when you go and buy your food there during your lunch? You pay cash or you scan? See, at that level already, payment are no more cash, paperless already. It's no more paying cash. You pay through digital payment, e-payment. If the lady do not want to do that, demanding for cash, maybe you don't want to go to that person. You go to another person who offer you digital payment. Correct? Because you don't carry cash anymore. This is how business are affected by the change in the digital sector. Are you clear? Okay. Customer centricity. That means this one is giving more importance to customer preference. What customer wants, the market provide. The focus is on the customer. So nowadays you find a lot of customer, what they do is they prefer watching movies online, everything they do online. So which industry is booming now? Streaming industry, streaming, you watch streaming, right? Movies, Netflix, Amazon, more and more people, millions of people are subscribing to this kind of services. So they are booming. This is how they offer the customer very good packages. Offer customer good packages, offer customer, that means you watch, it's not watching one time. You watch the movie, you can watch many times. But if you go to the theater to watch movie, you pay and you watch only one time. You understand or not? This one you can watch many times, or you can watch, you don't have to watch the entire movie at one shot. Maybe half an hour you watch, you have something to do, you stop there, then when you come back, you can continue watching. Understand or not? So this kind of flexibility is provided through the new method of providing the service. So that is the changes that giving importance to customer. Operational efficiency. Operational efficiency, a very good example, like the food industry. Nowadays, everything is online, because they have support. The delivery is supported. There's another company that are providing you with a service to deliver the item. So you don't have to worry. You just put your item, then you connect to this, the people who deliver the item to your customer. So this is operational efficiency. And this is happening today, correct? Okay. Competitive outcome, market dynamic. So what happens when the market is very, very competitive? For example, like perfect competition. I want you to relate to what you have studied and monopolistic competition. In these two kind of market structure, you'll find level of competition is very high, correct? The level of competition very high. There are so many competitors. So in terms of profit margin, low. Low meaning in the long run, in your theory, they said long run, normal profit, zero profit. That is low, a very low profit margin. But if you're talking about level of competition very low, like oligopoly and monopoly, their profit margin are very high. That's why in the long run also they make a lot of profit. For example, like Apple, they make a lot of profit. Samsung make a lot of profit. In the long run, even in the long run, they make a lot of profit because the level of competition is, the number of firms in the industry are low. Okay. So market dynamic, very important. Who are the dominant firm in the market? If there are many firms, is there any firm that dominates the market or not? The firms that dominate the market, meaning the firm that control the market share, big market share. Okay, dominant firm. So if there is dominant firm in the market, they are the one who set the pricing. Okay. Smaller firm often specialize. When you talk about competitive market or monopolistic market, the small firm, what they do is they was cater for niche market for specific market only, not for the mass market. Okay. That is competitive dynamic out from the market outcome, competitive outcome. Then you have innovation race, especially that market that, give importance to quality, give importance to innovation, will spend a lot of money for innovation, research and development, come out with new product in a very, you see, some model that is produced by the firm, for example, like Apple and so on, the model, they have different model coming out very, very fast, correct? Now iPhone, what? What's the model? iPhone 16. iPhone now produce iPhone what? What's the model now for iPhone? Anyone? 16, right? 16 what? Google and see what's the latest iPhone model. What is the latest iPhone model? Huh? 16? 16 only. Yeah, 16S or what, something like that. Huh? 16 Pro. Pro. Okay. Is it 16 Pro, 15 and so on, 14? How many years it takes? This is called very fast. That's why they spend a lot of R&D. They have to do this. Why they have to do this? Produce the new model all the time. Why? If they don't do that, they will become like Nokia. Die. Because they know the importance of improving the product all the time. And improving, they spend the money. They do the research. They spend the money. And of course, the price is high. Premium price. They can sell at premium price. They are the leader in the market. So they can sell at high price. Okay. So that's the importance of innovation race. Price war. Is there any price war? If there is price war, the profit margin will be smaller. If there is no price war, the profit margin will be much higher. For example, you take monopoly. Is there price war? Monopoly? No price war. They make a lot of profit. How about monopolistic competition? How about oligopoly? Oligopoly, they try to avoid price war. They don't want price war because they know if they go on price war, they will not get good profit. So they are engaging in non-price war. They spend a lot of money on advertising, R&D, and so on. Improve the quality of the product to retain their market and make good profit. That is their strategy. Because price war only benefit the consumers, not the firms. So find out whether this firm that you have chosen in the industry has price war or not. Do they collaborate? They work together? For example, in oligopoly market, they have cooperation. They work together and set the price. Okay, they have production quota and so on to set the price. They don't change the price. They don't compete on pricing. That is called, if they compete on pricing, we call that price war. Okay. So far, one more slide. Implication of the strategy. So what happened? Based on the strategy, implication, firm needs to continue monitor competitors and adapt to the change to the consumer environment preference, technological changes, regulatory changes. That means the government regulation. Okay, must follow that accordingly. Collaboration, whether they want to work together or not, partnership, joint venture. For example, now we can see some firms are trying to merge with another firms. Like Toyota, recently they said they may want to consider working with Nissan. Why they do all this kind of strategies is the implication of this. They look at all the things that can happen. It's better for them to work together rather than to compete with each other. That's the idea. Okay. Okay, for our morning session here, we will end here. We'll stop here. If you have any question, you can come forward. Those who have no question, you can go for your lunch break. Then we come back at 1 o'clock. Okay, for our session 2. Okay, before you go, example. Okay, example. This is report. You must be looking for things like that. I just show you example. This one is food and beverage industry retail report. Okay. So in this report, look things like that. If you can get this is in Vietnam, This is done for Vietnam market. So you can see overview, economy, food market in Vietnam. Okay. Operating in Vietnam business F&B, food and beverage market. Overview. But this one talking about overview Vietnam economy. Your overview is about the industry. Understand or not? So when I talk about how important is this particular sector to Vietnam economy, then it's like that. But you don't talk about how important is that particular firm into your country economy, to that particular market only. Okay. So you see, when you talk about overview, the important to the economy, Vietnam economy, this particular industry, F&B. So first we talk about Vietnam. There are 33 million people, people who stay in population, urban population 36%, GDP 255 billion USD, GDP per capita. This one talk about the importance of Vietnamese economy. Then they go to industry. You can see all these kind of figures that you can find. Okay, to the industry that you have chosen, you must use it. I just show you an example how you can show. Okay, this is an example of F&B sector industry. Yeah. So you can see who are the providers here. See the brand. You can see here all these brand providers. This one you don't have to go. You just look for report, choose the right report for your project, take out and provide in your answer. Some meat industry, dairy industry. So when we say F&B, it covers this kind of sector. Fish market, vegetable market, beverages market, consumer trend. So So if you look for the right report, you can get all the details that you require to write your project. I just show you one example of a report. Okay. It's not operating in Vietnamese, talking about consumer preference. So how consumer preference changes in Vietnam versus global. Health and wellness, very important nowadays in the food industry. Okay. Then you can see all the kind of product they sell here. Well-received premium product. Premium is a green color one. Mostly are what? Fish sauce and what? These are premium product highly demanded in Vietnam. Okay. The economy product, which is highly demanded, is this one, or down here. There is 37 noodles. Operating in Vietnam's market, the cost of doing business here. Distribution. Who are the distributors? How do they distribute? Operating in Vietnam market. These are only on beverages. Channel preference for F&B. Okay, these are the channel. Wet market, supermarket, mom and pop stores. So I just show you example. Supermarket, there are so many supermarket here. Okay. Franchising business. Food safety. This one, you will look at food safety, then you can can find the government regulation. Okay. They have to meet the Ministry of Health. Okay. How to produce their product and so on. Okay. The rise on online purchasing. See, the rise on, these are changing the way how people, consumer are buying things. This will affect their demand. Understand? This will change the way the supplier are selling their product. Shifting. This is change in demand. Shifting for healthier goods. Consumer. So shutdown of physical restaurant. These are showing the shifting of people who are buying online. So physical restaurant shut down and coffee shop shut down. Understand or not? Opportunities and challenges, which I talked about. Okay, so what are the opportunities? What are the challenges in that industry? So like that, I just show you one example of material that you should be looking for in order to write. That means you look at report, look at articles, and then you gather on that particular industry only. Okay, but don't forget in your answer, you must also provide the model, economic model that you have studied to talk about the implication of that firm in that industry in the long run. Okay, what kind of profit they will make and so on. Why? Okay, clear? Okay. Okay, take your morning, take the break. Then we see you. I will see you again at 1